Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on the Berry ratio. In this video tutorial we're going to go over what's referred to as the gold versus silver distributor example. In previous videos we've talked about the definition of the Berry ratio and also about when it's appropriate to use it. You may remember this slide from one of the earlier tutorials about when it's appropriate to use the Berry ratio. We want to focus on one particular case. In this case, the difference between the tested party and the comparables is that they are providing a very similar level of service, but that the product being sold, and thus the COGS in their P&L, is very different. And that's going to affect how we would measure many profit level indicators, but it will have much less impact on the Berry ratio. So let's talk about this example where we have two identical distributors functionally. They're going to distribute two very similar products, gold and silver, and they're going to distribute them in the exact same amounts. They'll have the exact same operations. But the one key difference between these is the price of gold versus the price of silver. As you can see, this is going to have an impact on their income statement. The distributor of the gold is going to have much higher COGS and much higher revenues. And that's going to have big impacts on the calculation of any operating margin or any net cost plus markup, and even the gross margin that they're going to earn. But in these cases, we have two people who are operating in an identical fashion. We're giving them the exact same operating expenses and operating income at the end of the day because it is rewarding them for the functions performed. As you can see, if we look at the Berry ratio for these two distributors, we'd see that they've got identical Berry ratios because they have the exact same gross profit level of 30,000 divided by the operating expense of 15, which calculates to a ratio of 2. But had we used other profit level indicators, such as, say, the operating margin, you can see that the silver distributor has an operating margin of 10%, while the gold distributor has an operating margin of 0.16%. If these were two different a tested party and a comparable, we'd draw the wrong conclusions if we were looking at these operating margins, but on a Berry ratio basis, we'll draw the right conclusion. I just want to point out that we have an extensive description of this particular example in a page on our wiki, which you can go to, and in fact, if you go to that page, you'll see that there's a link on that page to the details of the DuPont case. And that's important because the Berry ratio was developed by Dr. Charles Berry as part of his testimony in the DuPont transfer pricing case. Thank you and have a good day.